You ready? All right, we
Hi.
are live and good evening, everyone. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's me again, Christine, and of course,
It's
hi,
also
Mel.
here with Christine is Melody from Auckland. How are you all?
Yeah, so we're just waiting for people. Tonight is a very good topic, especially for those who are in South Auckland. Hello, of course, to our nurses from Middlemore Hospital or people who are working in South Auckland. Just a quick one, guys. So tonight, there's a lot of good information if you're thinking of buying your first home or upgrading to a new home, brand new home. This is a very good webinar to watch, to learn. And if you're here, we're just sharing this right now. Please do take notes. If you're watching this recorded later, please do fill up our form here if you want to know more later, because there are um, open homes. If you really want to see the homes that we're going to be sharing to you, um, please enter your details in our link. So, Mel's, I think you can really share a lot about this because you live in that area, right? Of
And this is what
Auckland.
I'm passionate about. So I go to work because of this. No, um, I go to work to save lives and at the same time talk with my workmates about properties and how to prosper in New Zealand. So one thing very important for me when where I realized no one is talking about it before when I started at work. So people are like scared to talk about it, or it's a bit taboo to talk about properties because the older ones probably feel like they're just boasting of what they have. But I was so lucky to be surrounded with people that shared with me their knowledge, and yeah, and then so I started dreaming. Yeah, started in Hastings when I came here for my cap. I was just observing people. They have two properties and all those things, and I was asking how much is your property, and they're renting it out and all those things. So tonight we will find out more. Like it's not just about first home buyer, but also it could be your rental property, or yes, upgrading to 1.5 million, 1.7 million. We visited one property with Christine and we were so inspired and like um giddy about it. We took lots of videos.
Excited. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So again, the question, of course, the webinar is about first home buyer, but not limited to first home buyers. And specifically, we're talking about South Auckland. Because when I came here, I was like, in Auckland, if you're in Auckland, there is this thing about South Auckland. Oh, you're from South Auckland. And there's kind of this, I'm from North Shore. So
Wow.
there is
You're the
kind of
Sakal
like a,
one.
no, there is, right? You agree with me with that, right?
Yes,
There is something about South
definitely.
Auckland when people thinks that, oh, there, South Auckland is a bad area. But then I also live in South Auckland. Remember when I was there in Auckland with Julia, and now I see, my gosh, there's so many beautiful places in South Auckland. But tonight we're gonna talk about, if you're planning to buy in South Auckland, what's the good suburb that you should choose from? Where is the development? And of course, in Pinoy's and NZ, as you know, we talk about you buying your first home, um, s- influencing you, of course, giving you the right information so that you take that first move, because there's a lot of myth actually right now. There's a lot of myth. Um, since last year, we've been talking about real estate, buying your first home, and we've realized that a lot of people are actually think that they haven't took the first step because they thought that you need at least 100,000 in your Kiwi Saver to be able to start.
Or
Kind
even
of
they
like
need the Kiwi Saver. I bought my
yeah,
house and my brother bought his house without Kiwi Saver. So if you can buy it, if you can get approved, get assessed for free, and then if you can buy it, don't prolong it. Like well, we didn't prolong, so it depends on your situation actually. So there are a lot of different situations there that could benefit, like buying a house. It's either you wait for your Kiwi Saver. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to skin
the
the cat.
process.
What
So of
they
course,
say.
we have tonight. We have, of course, as always, we have guest speakers,
Very
and
exciting.
our favorite. person is here tonight again, very passionate. We'll bring them on the stage shortly. And of course, we have actually new titanium partner in Pinoy's and NZ. As you know, guys, we are looking for ways to make those dreams happen, and we want to connect our Pinoy's and NZ community to the right service providers. We want to give you options, and this one, we're gonna share why we partner with them as well. Mel's
Bit
personally,
personal.
it's personal touch, and as you know, we want the best in our community as much as possible. Um, so that's why we partner with people who we trust. We, of course, we do our research as well. So we are excited to invite them on stage tonight and just say hello to our Pinoys and NZ community. So I'm just gonna bring them in here on our stage. Of course, Kuya Rex. Yeah, hello.
Oh, you don't
Hello,
know this.
hello.
You don't know
Hello.
this
Yeah.
quote.
Good evening. T-Rex here for those under 20s. Tito Rex for those above 30s. Kuya Rex. Sabay ganun, no?
And of course, we have Matt and Clinton from GZ
Hello, hello. Good to
Advisors.
be here.
Hey everyone.
Yeah. Guys, Matt and Clinton, our community, sometimes they say when it's pure English, they call it, we're going to have nosebleed. What does
Oh, yeah.
nosebleed mean? Nosebleed because, but of course, we are now in New Zealand and we're used to speaking in English. We would love you guys to ask questions tonight. A lot of people think that it's, buying their first home requires, again, a lot of money. But for me, honestly, I would always say it's not about, of course, you need to have money, um, have the right deposit and all that. But for me, first step is making a decision. Making a decision. Once you made that decision that, hey, I'm going to buy a house, everything will follow. And then, your budget, of course, will follow. And Kuya Rex, I love I've learned a lot from Kuya Rex about this actually. Um, about making decisions and how you manage your funds. So we're gonna
and how
talk
you
about it.
tell and how you tell your money what to do with, like what to do, because it's got a mind of its own, di ba, kuya?
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. So
But
Mel, so
first,
what was that?
from time to time we will put some disclaimers to our webinar, because
Yes.
they are different entities, and it this will be a general information for everyone. So we recommend you to seek financial advice to licensed individuals.
Disclaimer. All right.
Yeah.
So that's our disclaimer, guys. As you know, Pinoy's and NZ. This is we do this because we really care for our community and we want, of course, our mission. We just want to start with our mission as always, helping Filipinos not just settle but prosper faster in New Zealand. And I believe that part of prospering in New Zealand is getting into the property ladder because rent is so expensive. Whether just for math in Clinton, in the Philippines, it's okay if you don't have a house and you live with your parents forever. It's a cultural thing, right? And I don't know, when I was already working as a professional, it wasn't like "Oh, I need to have a more." It's something that we don't think a lot, and that's why in Pinoy's and NC we want to talk about it openly in our community, because personally looking back in 2000, I think we bought our first home after 7 years in New Zealand, but then Mel's flatmate bought it after 2 years because of Mel's,
Oh,
because
actually,
of her.
because of PRX as well.
Yes, Kuya Rex as well. So
So yeah,
sometimes you just
keep talking about it, and then yeah, they open their mind. They start researching where can they afford. They thought they can afford in South Island. They thought they have to move, find another job, and all those things. But actually, they found a way to stay, and yeah, they're so close by, probably 5 minutes, and they're so happy. Yeah. So just
and then of course
yeah.
go for it once.
So just because if like just a bit of a background as well, some Filipinos go to different countries to like abroad to work, mostly they cannot settle. Like Saudi, Singapore, it's hard to be a resident and you don't get citizenship.
Yeah.
But in New Zealand is one of the countries, Australia, Canada, US, that you can get citizenship and you can buy a house. So that's why we're very passionate about educating
It's
our
it,
community.
Mel's.
Yeah.
It's okay, Mel's. Only 10% of Filipinos are outside the country working. Only 10%.
10% of the 100, how many million?
110 million, yeah. 110 million. 10% are out the country working. Like wow.
10%. Wow, that's yeah, but we're all over the world. So, Mel's, another topic that we will talk about tonight. And again, we want you to watch this video if you're watching this live right now or recorded. We want you to have a think. Hopefully our outcome here is for you to like weigh the pros and cons. Am I ready to buy a house, or am I going to buy an old house for my first home, or a brand new home for your first home? And this is a very good conversation. It's because now, me looking back, we bought an old home, and Mel's, in comparison, they bought a brand new home in their when they bought their first home. And and I really remember we look at that house and we were like, oh my gosh, that's the ugliest house ever, but that's all we can afford anyway. So we did buy that one, and we did work hard to renovate it for over a year, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's not for the weak, renovating a house. But then Mel's told me when we talk about this webinar that they bought their first home. And share about your feelings, Mels. How was it for you?
I'm actually looking at the photos now. It brings back lots of memories. Um, Buying your first home. So we had like we feel so blessed and lucky because as you can hear as well from other people, the suggestion or advice is just get into the property ladder. Your first home doesn't need to be your dream home, but during that time it felt like everything is falling into place. Like we're getting our dream home, and we got our section. We were traveling to Europe. We got pre-approval to build a brand new house, 4 bedroom in the best, they said, the best address in Pukikohe. So we were so excited. But then after our trip to Europe, when we came back, there were changes, rules in mortgage and approval. Suddenly, we were not able to get approved. But I have an article that I wrote about that story and how we were able to find a way. But after how many months of trying to think outside the box and didn't get the first no that I got from one bank, I went to other mortgage advisors and went to other banks and found, yeah, different people saying no to us, and took on even one friend to to co-invest with us, something like that. Like, and then in the end, he didn't get approved, but in the end, we got it. We got approved, and it was so exciting because yeah, we were able to. By the way, this is why we collaborated with the company with Matt, where Matt and Clinton is working, because this they are the company that we went to. So um, we were doing, before we bought our house, we were doing renovations. Actually, we had like a buying and selling of properties and renovating some properties. But with our own home, we decided to not build it, because even though we have builders around, we wanted GJ Gardner to build our house, and so it is hassle free for us. We just pick the the design, and we deposited, and then yeah, when we got approval for our progress payments, we started our build with GJ Gardner. So Chris, would you be able to share some photos? Because yeah, we were so lucky to, it was so exciting, like when you go to the office of if you go there, it's the same. I think they've got a new way on how to present to the new clients and how to choose colors, the tiles. Yeah, and so can you show Chris the photos?
Where is it? I don't have it here right now. You
Hold
sh-
on, maybe later.
I'm gonna, yeah, share it to me. So yeah, that's the question. Is it actually possible to own a brand new home for your first home? Because personally, I talk about, okay, your first home doesn't have to be your dream home, but is it possible? And we're gonna talk about it tonight. Like, in Pinoys and NZ, we talk, like, we really share lived experiences. And for those who are here, maybe we're here for over 10 years, 15 years, shows our age, right? But then for those who are still under probably third year, fifth year, then hopefully you can learn from our experience. And then based on what you hear, you can make that decision. Like, again, for me, we bought an old house, we renovated it for over a year, really work hard. Honestly, it's not for the weak. It can break a marriage, I would say, because it's really tough. But then with Mel's, the experience is totally different. But this is one thing that I want to share. When we sold that house that renovated and Mel sold their house, we made
After 2 years.
exactly the same profit, or probably the same profit. So that
May,
really made me think, to be honest. I'm like, oh
may,
wow.
Christine, may I also share my first? That reminds me of our first property here in New Zealand when we first arrived 20 years ago. So we were so happy. It was a condominium in downtown, like it's Parnell, so it's really good. The landings, it was
Mhm.
really good. The price was really good. Only to find out 3 years after that it was leasehold, and we were not familiar of property ownership, and that was a very
Wow.
painful realization years later. So it will be
Yeah,
good for those who are planning to buy their first home. It will be good to start with those who really know the industry. Don't just rush in and buy whatever you can grab, because that could give you a lot of pain later, right? Mm.
yes, wow. That's really, really important, what title it is. And like, and we talked about it in our previous webinar, actually, QueerX. And that's why, again, um,
So
we love what we do, because we educate people before they even start. They already have
Mm-mm.
a clear
Mm.
information. And yeah, so of course, I want to call on our speaker. They can share to us, is it actually possible to own a brand new home? Nels will, I'm going to find that photo and we'll share it. When I find it, it's not in here right now, but is it actually possible to own a brand new home for your first home? And yes, for those who are in South Auckland, this is an exciting topic. You really gotta take note, and because there's potential as well. Like, there's potential. So I'm gonna call on Matt and Clinton. They're gonna be presenting to us what's possible for our community. So Matt, do you want me to share? Hello. You
Hello,
talk a lot,
hello.
guys.
Yes, hi
Sorry.
everyone. So to kick off, so we're both from GJ, Clinton and I, and yeah, Clinton is just going to do a little introduction, and then I'm going to take you through the 4 myths of building a new home, which I think it'd be great to do some myth busting tonight and really help give you guys some solid information to take away with you as you consider what your next steps are in terms of buying a first home.
Yes.
Cool. Good evening,
Sure.
everyone. So I'm Clint. Oh, you there? I'm Clinton. So I work with Matt and GJ's Papakuras. So thank you, Christina Melody, for the warm introduction. And hello, everyone, to Pinoy's NZ. So it was a good fact I've learned this evening that Pinoy is like Kiwi in the Filipinos. So it's a
Yeah.
cool.
You pronounce it well, Clinton. Well done.
So it's very cool to know that. And as a franchise, GJ's Papakuras, we built over 1,200 homes across since 1997. So we've got a long track record in the area. And we have built for many Filipinos in that time. And it's really interesting. You get the real sense of community that comes through from the Filipinos, because we'll get one, say, in Clark's Beach. One family will come in. They'll be very friendly, very excited, really good to deal with. It's a real pleasure to build for them. And then another one comes, and another one comes. And before you know it, we've got 3 or 4 or 5, and it's really cool. They're always
it'd be
a
full of
great...
Filipinos.
Yeah, and it's a real pleasure, and it's Matt and I can say genuinely from our heart, we do this to help people, and it's a really fulfilling sort of role that we do, helping people into their homes and that kind of thing. So it's just a side bit from me, but I'll give you a little bit about us as a franchise as well. So we've been building in Papakura and surrounds for since 1997. We've been about. GJ's is a brand, New Zealand's most trusted builder. You might have seen that on TV. We do take a lot of pride, and one of our sort of, I suppose, ethos is to have every client recommend us to our closest friends. So everyone that you'll see in our business is really striving to ensure our customers and have a really, really good experience, and they want to bring all their friends on too. So that's kind of what we try to do in our sort of thing, and that starts from us and the sales side of the business through to the construction guys who send through weekly updates of photos and how everything's going, and so everyone can have confidence and knowledge that their house is in good hands. In terms of where we build across about 10 different subdivisions in Papakura and Drury and surrounds. And we like to think we do a good job, but we've got a lot of options and we can customize to suit everyone. But that's a little bit about us. I think that kind of covers it off. What we'll do now, I will get Matt to talk through some of the myths, and I'll come back. And I've been growing up in Papakura and surrounds since I was 11 years old, so I've been in the area for a long time. I can talk about all the change and the exciting growth that's coming to South Auckland, and why we like to think South Auckland's a great place to build and live. But then I'll hand it over to Matt. So, Matt.
Thanks, Clinton. And thank you so much, Christine and Melody and Rex, for having us. It's such a privilege to be here and to speak with the Pinoy community. As Clinton said, it's always such a pleasure meeting Filipino and wanting and who want to build with us. And like Clinton said, people often refer their friends to come talk to us as well, and that's always such a pleasure when people have such a great experience that they want to get their friends and family to come along and build with GJ. It's a real privilege to be here.
Before you start, I just want to say disclaimer: Matt is not single, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys, there's a ring there.
This
Got
is
a wife and one
family.
2-year-old son, and I love them very much. But anyway, moving right along, I would like to say that for me personally, the thing I love most about my job is helping people stop paying rent, paying other people's mortgages, and get into their own first home. And that is such a thrill when every time I help someone do that. It gets me really excited, and it just gives me so much satisfaction. And it's not just about getting people into their first home. What I really like to see is getting people into a brand new home, because I've experienced it, and I just know that a brand new home has so much more to offer than a second-hand home. I'm sure it's something that we all.
Can I just share, Matt, as well? Because just a bit of a background as well. Like I got reconnected with Papakura GJ Gardner because one of my workmates built a house with them, and recently I visited actually the house, and we got a quick tour after our night shift, and it all came back to me, like all the memories of a new home, going to a new home, and like this is what I envisioned and what I planned. This is the tiles and this is the thing. So really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, tonight what I want to do is share with you the top 4 myths of building a new home as it relates to first home buyers. So should we get straight into it? Let's go. Myth number one. It's not possible for first home buyers to buy a brand new home. Now, I know this is what a lot of people think, and you sitting at home, everyone watching this, you may have had the same thought, like I'd love to get my first home, but it may not have even entered your mind that you could have a brand new home for your first home. But I would like to say, as I mentioned, 2 years ago, my wife and I had the wonderful experience of moving into our first home, and it was a new build. And I can't describe, how amazing that feeling was to walk through the home and see everything just how we designed it, from the layout of the rooms to the kitchen design and the type of splashback tiles, to the position of the power plugs and the light switches. Everything was sort of exactly how we wanted it and we discussed. Personally, I would never have considered, building new. In fact, it was only because my parents did a new build a few years earlier that I even considered it. For my parents, they loved it as well. And for them, the value of their home once it was completed was far higher than what they'd paid for it. And that's not uncommon when people build a new home. And so I encourage you, don't let anyone tell you it's not possible for your first home to be a new home. At GJ, we've built new homes for hundreds of first home buyers. And we're here tonight because we'd really love to do the same for you guys. So myth number 2, I can't afford to build a new home. Now it's a valid thought. But I'm here to say that, although some people believe that building new is really expensive, the truth is that often that's not the case. In fact, as with my parents, I mentioned before, it's not unusual for a new build to be worth more than what you paid for it by the time it's built. Often people think they can save money by buying a second-hand home. Christine mentioned her experience tonight. She bought a second-hand home and spent a lot of time and effort fixing it up and doing it up themselves.
If you don't have that,
do that.
Yeah, if you don't have the time, you don't have the skills, we don't recommend it.
Exactly. It's very time consuming and it takes a lot of money. And often people don't realize the true cost of those repairs and the maintenance, of doing up an old home. And sometimes they don't even know all the issues that are going to come with that home when they buy it. So before long, any savings that you might have had, buying a secondhand home, that gets all used up. And in the end, you're still left with often like a cold, damp home, and it's not new still. You've spent a whole lot of money on an old home. But a brand new GJ home, it's low maintenance. It's built to the latest insulation standards, so it's nice and warm and dry. And you get the peace of mind of a 10-year master build guarantee as well. Also, when you build with GJ, if you buy a second-hand home, you often want to go in and sometimes renovate or change things. You might decide you don't like the bathroom, and so you spend a whole lot of money on the bathroom. But the problem with that is that you pay for the bathroom once when you buy the home, and then you pay for it again when you renovate. When you build new, you get the home you want the first time. So you're only paying for, the bathroom once. You're only paying for the kitchen once, and it's the kitchen that you want. It's the bathroom that you want. And so it kind of removes that wastage as well. Now, some people are often concerned about cost blowouts when it comes to a new build. I think that's often quite a big concern for people. When I'm speaking to people, it comes up quite a lot. And that's why, at GJ, we know that money is tight, especially when it comes to your first home. You're not wanting to waste money, wherever you can. And so what we have is we can give you the peace of mind. We have a large number of fixed price house and land packages, which means that you're protected from cost increases of materials and that sort of thing along the way. And you're not stuck with any nasty surprises. Now, something else that's really important to mention when it comes to the affordability of a new home is that, and Rex will probably be able to sort of expand on this a bit later, but finance can often actually be easier when it comes to a new build. The government has created legislation that encourages people to build new homes. Most banks have lower deposit requirements for new home buyers, as Christine mentioned before. You don't need 20% for a new build, and they're also banks are also exempt from a number of other restrictions, which makes it more favourable for them to lend to new home buyers as opposed to people buying second-hand homes. Right, so that's myth number 2. I can't afford to build a new home. Hope that sort of challenged that belief a little bit for you. Let's crack on to number 3, and that is building is too hard and too much work. Now, that might be something that some of you can relate to or you've thought as well. Now, I wanted to start off by saying, if you've ever built a new home and it has required you to do lots of hard work, then you're really working with the wrong builder. It shouldn't be hard. The reason you work with GJ Gardner Homes is we take care of the whole process for you from start to finish. We create the plans, we organize the building consent, we manage the entire process. We do all the hard work, so you can just enjoy the ride, really. There are some very exciting things you get to do along the way, which Melody was talking about, with her experience of building. you get to customize the home to your own personal tastes and requirements. And so as part of our service, we'll do a color consultation with you where you get to choose all of your colors and your fixtures and fittings, everything from like door handles and floor tiles and the design of your kitchen. You can choose whatever you want in your new home. So that's myth number 3. Number 4, this is the fourth and final. Building takes too long. Now, this is another common myth that people are sometimes concerned about is the timeframes. Some people have this idea that it can take a year or two to build a home. The reality is that build timeframes at the moment are about as fast as they get. It's a great time to build with the building industry right now. For us at GJ, we've recently reduced our build times for a standard, 3 or 4 bedroom home from 120 working days to just 100 working days. Now that's pretty quick. That's less than 5 months from when we start building. There is a bit of time to start with where we have to work through the design and the consent process, which can take up to 3 months. But
The
still, within
consent,
about 8 months, you're going to have a brand new home from start to finish. From when you walk in and choose to build with us, that's a pretty quick turnaround, and it's such an exciting journey to go along and see that home being built before your eyes. And we encourage you to come along, meet with our site supervisor, and walk through the home as it's being constructed. And we really want you to be involved in the process. Now, I can hear some of you saying, but what about if there are delays? And I know that's a real concern for some people as well. We do, you do sometimes hear of new builds getting delayed, which is why GJ gives you a guaranteed build time frame. So we're so committed to this time frame that if we don't meet that agreed time frame, we'll start actually making payments to you guys until your build is completed. And it's pretty unique to GJ. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find another builder who will give you this sort of guarantee around the time frame of the build of your home. So anyway, that's myth number 4. So that's it all. That's the top 4 myths of building a new home. I hope that's provided some clarity. And I'd like to hand back over to Clinton now to tell you a bit more about some of the areas that we're building in South Auckland and why we think that they are such great areas to invest in over the coming years.
By the way, before Clinton says anything, it's also because they're a builder, like they will have research and like people checking which areas in South Auckland. So South Auckland is big. Even Pukekohe is big. Pukekohe will have a good side and a dark side. So you really have to ask the locals, if you know anyone, where are the areas that, like good areas. But with building with reputable companies, they already know where they will put their projects. So that's one thing you will be able to trust the builders, because of course they don't want their houses to be lower in value than the rest of South Auckland area. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so they did the research already in terms of growth and potential. Because again, Clinton, I just want to quickly share. In Pinoy's and NZ as well, yes, we talk about buying your first home, but then buying your first home is just the first step. The goal is financial freedom, where we have mentors in our community as well who shared about their first home, using their first home as a leverage, building equity, and then the next stage is their investment property, and another one later. So it's pretty important. Location, they say, location is important. You've heard that. So now Clinton will talk about why South Auckland. Isn't it not nice in South Auckland according to North Shore people? It's like, honestly, that's my mindset, to be honest. I want to be honest, and I'm sure a lot of people can, also have this South
Come
Auckland.
on, come on, Christine. We've been victims of that in the Philippines too. Like you're from Mindanao, like ah.
Yeah, you're a war-torn area. And do you have internet? Do you have a mall?
So when people say you're from South Auckland, like, what do you know?
All right.
I'm from
So
South Auckland. I've been there for 11 years. I've been here since I was 11 years old. So, Christine, look, you raise a very good point. You know, my family and experience has been, and for a lot of Kiwis, I think it is, and I think Melody, you've done a very good job of owning property is part of the Kiwi dream, I suppose. You know, owning homes, and it's historically been a very safe form of investment. You know, we're builders, we don't give investment advice or that thing, but Kiwis have always kind of liked to invest in it. You know, safe as houses has kind of been the expression. And part of what we, you know, as GJ Gunner, we like to give that confidence in the quality of the build that it's going to give, you know, and that for that biggest, well, for some people, it's the biggest investment they have, you know, so you have the confidence and knowledge that going forward, you have a good quality product. And Melody, you also touched on the, you know, the areas, right? And knowing where these areas are, there's good and bad areas. And look, we build across 10 different subdivisions and across our area. So we've got a lot of options and a lot of choice for everyone. Each one's got pros and cons, and I'll talk to a few of them now. But one of the sort of the couple of the key benefits of these new subdivisions is they're generally in new areas, so new patches, new areas. So you've got the safety and security of a new development. They've been built to a high standard, you know, so, you know, the recent flooding events and those things that happen through Auckland, which has scared a lot of people. And we get a lot of people coming through asking us, hey, did this flood? What did this happen? But because they're all new subdivisions, again, you have that confidence. You know, I can't guarantee you it'll never happen, but we didn't see anything happen through those floods or anything like that. So you can have that confidence that these subdivisions are new, the latest and the greatest, and build it to the best standards, you know. So South Auckland, yeah, I've grown up since I was 11 years old. There's a lot of growth. And when you look at it and you compare the rest of Auckland, you've got the north, you've got sort of Albany's popped up, and the north's just gone boom. You've got the west, you've got Westgate, and it's all gone boom out there. South Auckland, the Drury and surrounds is kind of earmarked as the next gap. You know, it's the last undeveloped area. And sort of my father's always said to me, you know, invest in areas where growth is coming, you know, or infrastructure is coming. And there's a really good story around Drury, Papakura and surrounds around that growth. So, you know, I've got some numbers in here for you guys that like the numbers. You know, it is zoned and identified for growth. You know, it's the new North and West Town Centre. There's 30,000 new homes forecast over the next 30 years, 100,000 population. You know, there's 2.9 billion earmarked for infrastructure growth from the central government. There's a new town centre, shopping. There's another hospital provision in there. So there might be another hospital. Who knows? Good for the nurses that come from the Philippines. You know, there's some bulk retail. Costco. I think Costco's a big draw card. I think maybe the worst kept secret in South Auckland, but it's not confirmed yet. But there's rumours to it be coming. So Kiwi Property, who built Sylvia Park, is building a development the same size as Albany out there. So if you can see on this slide we've got here in the middle, you can kind of see the picture with all those buildings. A little bit hard to see on the screen, but that's kind of the size and the scale of it that will be coming over the next sort of 10 to 25 years. So there's a lot of growth there. As part of that, there will also be 2 new train stations. So those train stations, we've seen a lot of people come through who really, really like the train stations that are coming. And it means it'll link up directly to Middlemore. You know, if you work in the hospital, we'll go straight to Middlemore. The location's good for the airport. If you're working out the airport, there's good access to the airport, good access to Hamilton. It's a really, really central location. So as you can also see on the map there, I see a comment from one of our viewers, what areas are available. We've got a few subdivisions. I'll talk through a couple now. These are typically first home buyers areas. So we've got Oranga on the map there, which you can see on the little green dot between the 2 new train stations. It's a more intensive development. It's got walkways, it's got a primary school, it's got a new primary school, it's got a daycare centre. It'll be next to the train station, very easy to get onto the motorway. We've got another development a little bit further down the road, which is Hunua Views. It's a less intensive development, so there's more single-level standalone houses, very nice. A little bit further away, just a slightly different proposition. But again, packages in those areas kind of they're starting from about 850,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-car garage house on a genuine standalone property. So this is not, we don't build terrace houses so much. We build more standalone homes, which seem to be very popular with our first home buyers and those trying to get into the area. From an investment side of things, with all this growth and construction and businesses opening up, there'll be a lot of employment opportunities. So also good for investors, all those looking for work as well. So this is some stats you can kind of see that have come through from Kiwi Property, who's doing that big development out there. You can see the motorway kind of running through that red line through the middle there. Thank you for putting that on, Christine. Again, lots of numbers, there, and that side alone, on the right-hand side of the motorway, 7,000 new dwellings, 20,000 new residents, thousands and thousands of office space, meters of office space, retail space, railway station, buses, provision for the regional hospital, 3 new schools, public spaces, parks, cycleways. There's a really good story around the area, and that's from my personal perspective. I'm investing in here. I think it's a great area, and it's a really good story. So, if we could move on to the next slide, this is a bit of a snapshot of Oranga. I see another comment come up on the school zones. A lot of these subdivisions that we've got good local daycares and good local primary schools. They've got the one in Oranga, we've got sections which literally backs onto the new school, Ngāroa Primary, and you could walk from there to that or the childcare centre as well. And there's a bus that goes in here too. As you can see on this image again, there is future plans for a secondary school to go in there. I couldn't tell you when it's going to come, but I know the Ministry of Education's bought the land and they're planning to build it into the future. In terms of other schooling in the area, you've got Rosehill College, you've got a Catholic school, which is St. Ignatius. So I understand a lot of Pinoys might be Catholic. Is that true? Am I fair to say that? Maybe?
There's a lot of Filipinos Catholic.
80%.
50? Is it?
80. 80.
80, wow. Yeah, so St. Ignatius, if you haven't heard of it, have a look. It's a very new, popular Catholic school. And there's if private education's more your thing, there's ACG College as well, which is another popular school out those ways too. This subdivision here in Oranga, so yeah, you can kind of see it on the map. Seeing it in real life is always much better. It's always fun when we get our customers or potential customers out to site and have a look. It's a pretty exciting part of it. You can start visualizing and seeing the dream. This is a popular subdivision. As I said, it's a bit more intensive. So there's a few mixtures of styles in housing in here. You've got terraced housing, you've got duplexes, you've got some social housing in there. It's a real mix. But what we're selling and building in there would be standalone homes on smaller size sections, genuine standalone. So you've got fully fenced section, your own home, your own little backyard, a great family homes or great investments. If we move on to our next development, which is out here those ways again, could you put Hanoa Views in Ramarama. So this is where your friend built, Melody, with Matt. So
my workmate.
Your workmate, yeah. So she built out there with Matt, and a very cool subdivision as well. Like it's a new subdivision. It's very
close to motorway.
Very close, yeah.
Yeah, and it's in front of the where she built was in front of the what's that? A reserve.
A reserve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her place.
I
is
actually
cool,
was thinking maybe I should downgrade now. Like I should I should get a smaller house and a nicer area like this. But yeah. I'm not yet retiring.
Yeah, so Hanoa Views it's a pretty popular. They're nice little homes. They're tidy little homes. Lots of owner occupiers buying in here, and you can kind of see it when you go in. Everyone looks after their homes, takes good care of their property.
And they can build 3-bedroom, right, Clinton? From 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms, yeah. 3-bedroom designs in here, yeah. So in this subdivision, we have less ability to make changes and things like that versus some of the other ones because some of the designs are pre-consented, but we can modify and customize internal layouts of the house, colors, and that kind of thing. So everyone gets a real chance to put their own mark on things, and have it the way that works for their family. This one's got a very cool local school, Ramarama Primary School, which is a very good local old country school. As you can imagine, all of these areas were once farmland, right? So now they're turning into subdivisions and that kind of thing. So they still have a calf day every year. So there's a bit of a rural sense to the school, and I know it proves very popular with everyone that kind of goes in there.
And that's going to Ararimo area, eh? Because we lived in Ararimo as well before we rented in Ararimo, and such a beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah, our emu is really nice as well. We've got packages out there as well on land that people, big rural builds, if people want to go for that lifestyle too. It is a really nice part of the world. You're on the rural urban fringe, so you get your great value proposition, but you've also got the countryside right there, So there's lots of golf courses. I don't know. Do the Filipinos like to play golf? I don't know. Do you?
So
Ah,
Actually, there's a Filipino group of mostly men. They've put
go.
up golf
Golf?
tournaments and all these things. So yeah, next time
Yeah.
we will be promoting golf again as well, so that
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So that's Hunoa Views. Again, like a very popular. The two developments I've kind of focused on today was the first home buyers, and both of these developments are starting from around 850,000 to 900,000. So the land sizes here. Another comment coming here. The land sizes, they vary from 260 in those subdivisions up to 350 square meters. And the price kind of depends. The bigger the land, that has an influence on price. And yeah, so that's on Ramarama. So, as we go through this evening and you guys talk about your things, if you do want to come out, we do invite you on Sunday. We're going to have a bit of an open day for the community. And you guys will put some refreshments on and we can show you our show home. It looks like what a typical home will look like. And then you get a sense and feel of what you can get with a new build with GJ Gardner. And then we can go across and look at some of the sections and you can get a sense of the community and the areas that are developed.
Clinton,
Yeah.
you serve lechon. People be flocking.
You're going to bring it, aren't you, Rex? I heard that you're bringing it.
yeah, Kuya Rex will be donating.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 p.m. Sunday for those who sign up. Of course, we will email you about the details. If you're
And
keen
I
to
will be there
register-
as well. It is very exciting to see, the house built and kind of have a feel of the area. We will probably be visiting some other sites as well after that. And you know what? Just going in there, even though like you haven't really thought about it, but you can buy and you haven't been assessed yet. Once you go there, it will like give you that inspiration to like, yeah, I have to do this year, or you will be surprised within 1 month, 2 months, you'll be approved by Kuya Rex. Yeah, so you just don't know until you ask and get assessed.
Yes, yes. That's so true. And of course, they say forget about the how first. When you start with the how can I get, your brain gonna say, oh, you can't do that, you can't afford it. But then, of course, tonight we will call Kuya Rex. We'll be sharing, how can you actually afford to buy your first home.
So is
So
it
Kuya
how?
Rex,
Is it how,
so
Kuya Rex?
how, and of course, why do you want your first home is your first question, and then Kuya Rex will answer the how. Right, Kuya Rex?
Hi,
So
hi,
2
Christine.
p.m. on Sunday, and we will have more of those. Just click the link. We will be putting the link here. We have few questions here right now. We will answer all the questions at the end of this webinar. But Kuya Rex will show you, how you can get started. If you haven't yet, if you have pre-approved, even better. Right? But for those who are thinking, especially nurses, I really like that. I did not even think of it. A lot of Filipinos, I'm sure, work at the airport and maybe in the
Mm.
mall as well. And subdivision is actually a thing in the Philippines. If you live in a nice subdivision, you are
Mm.
rich. Hi,
Richer.
you're richer somehow. That we have this thing about subdivision that we love that feel, especially in the Philippines side. So this is good. Yeah, we invite you again to um, join the open home on Sunday, this coming Sunday. What's the date of that one? I'm just checking the date. It's the
16th.
16th.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we will have events on the 15th. If you don't have a date on the 14th, you have a chance to get some refreshments on the 15th, and then on a dinner, and then on the 16th we will have refreshments. So this is different kind of love, celebrating love for yourself and for your future. Yes.
Yeah.
Getting
So
inspired.
RSVP for this open home, please do click the link and enter your details so that we can email you and all the instructions how to get there and all those things. So, okay, Kuya
Kuya Rex,
Rex,
is it
thank you
possible?
again so much, Matt and Clinton. Honestly, it made me excited just watching. Like, my husband is a Kiwi and he's very DIYer and he's very handyman. He's very good though with his hands, but most Filipinos, I don't know if we're really good at renovating. It's
I
not.
don't. To be honest, we've done buy and like renovate and then flip, change kitchen, landscape, and everything. I've probably we've done it more than 6 times or something like that. But I don't recommend it if you don't know what you're doing. Oh my gosh, you have to know a lot of things and get the right people. You have to have a team that will do it with you. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's all right, Kuya Rex. Thank you again for that. So hopefully, it gave you some ideas that it's not impossible actually to
Mm.
get your first home. And of course, for those who bought their old first home as an old
Yeah,
house,
please
maybe it's
share. Please share in the comment section if you have bought in South Auckland and where. Because maybe we're kapitbahay. So I know some good places here in Pukikohe. I've got some workmates. We carpool for work now, going to Middlemore. And we pass by our friends in Honua Views, our workmates. And then, yeah, we have some parties here now. We have Mahjong. So join the club and join the thing. We invite you. Come to Pukikohe. I've been here for maybe 11 years now. So
wow.
yeah, and I've met lots of
Correct.
people, even though people working in North Shore in the city. So and especially now Pukikohe has got train station, like electric train station that
Electric now.
yes, we've just reopened last week.
Wow,
So
that's
it will be
amazing. Because the
fast.
last time I remembered is
There was no
that it
train.
was like scary. And just a quick one. This is from
Kapula.
Lulu. She's from Hawke's Bay, but she said GJ Gardner is a good quality houses. And yeah, I know a lot of friends who also live with GJ Gardner. So
Yeah,
okay,
and
so how
yeah,
Kuya Rex?
like what I've told you, we've
Ah,
built and renovated,
Christine,
so we went to Gigi Gardner.
that was a very good
Yeah.
segue, Christine. Instead of thinking about how, you should start with the what and the why. Okay,
Yeah.
it's always an honor and a privilege, and I mean it from my heart to be able to serve and share whatever I know to our community. And of course, we appreciate those who help us educate our community and share whatever they know because it's our purpose. We want Filipinos to not only thrive but prosper faster here in New Zealand. A lot of Filipinos has done it, so can you. Okay. By the way, we're not endorsing any product here. Like we are independent of each other. So I'm here to talk about the home loan side of things, the finance side of things. Um, I have been an advocate of a proper stewardship through financial literacy since back in the Philippines. I have been a financial advisor for 17 years in New Zealand and happy to have been serving the community, a lot of successful Filipino buyers and investors, and I'm part of their journey. As Matt mentioned earlier, nothing compares to the feeling of being able to help families buy their first, second, third, fourth, whatever, and some of them become debt free. My fastest so far is 5 years. We have a client from Wellington pay their home loan in just 5 years, if that's what you want, because everything should start with the what and the why. Okay, property investing, real estate is just one of the many vehicle of investments, and it could be a very powerful tool if you know what you're doing. But please, Christine, can we start with the slide first, please?
Yes.
Just like any journey, you cannot put the carriage in front of the horse. A lot of people just jump into any investment, be it real estate, be it crypto, be it whatever investment, without even checking what it is. So you have to do your own research. You have to do your own research. What is it that you really want to have? So have an overall plan, and then why? Because why should be compelling enough that should make you cry, so that you'll stick to your plan, whatever happens, and then the how will follow. So don't be one of those who will be paralyzed because of the tyranny of the how. Believe me, if your what and your why is compelling, you'll do whatever it takes to achieve what you want to achieve, buying the house or whatever it is. Okay. Um, a lot of people in the past 17 years, a lot of people, Filipinos especially, ask me, Kuya, Tito Rex, whatever, where do we start? Where do we start our journey? Me, being a financial literacy advocate, I always say start with your putting your personal finance in order. Because if you're having problems with your money now, believe me, buying that property will not possibly solve your problem straight away. It can exacerbate it. In fact, if you don't know what you're doing, right? So start with your personal finance. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's go to the most simple term. Um, First, you have to have a written budget. If you don't have that, you're kidding me. Money has a mind of its own. It will go wherever you want to go. But it's a habit. That's why you have to be first. Who must I be? So first, you have to be good with your money. You have to have a written budget. The moment you have a written budget, when I say budget, a lot of people start closing their ears, thinking that that's the end of my life, that the fun is gone. No, it's a tool of awareness, because without awareness, you cannot improve anything. All right. So have a written budget. If you don't have that written budget, go to sorted.org.nz. That's a government website. Start there and know and be aware what do you have left at the end of the month. Because if you're not aware of that, then you're in trouble. Okay, that's your report card. That's your scorecard. Filipinos are fond of playing basketball. Don't you monitor your score every second? Like, oops. All right. So that is our report card. Um, the second thing that you should know is have a checklist of what it is that you really want in a property. There's the need and the want list. So your needs are different to your wants. Okay. Maybe you have 10 ideal of your needs and then you just list it down, should have 3 bedrooms or whatever it is. Okay. But you have to have a list. Then you have a basis for your decision. Um, in here in our flow, am I talking too fast, Christine? I'm good.
Yes, go
I'm
for
just
it.
okay. Okay. So how much deposit do you really need? So the government has actually, in the past couple of years, they have actually provided an edge to the first home buyers. So for first home buyers, if it's a new, then it's between 5 to 10%. And then, but if it's an existing property, you'll have to come up with 20. There are exemptions, but that's the usual rule. Okay. So for first home buyers, again, that's between 5 to 10%. Five if you can have under the Kainga Ora program. They don't have the grant anymore. But if you fall under that based on their criteria, then you'll be given a like because it's insured by the Kainga Ora program. Then you will be given preferential interest rates. That's really good. Using KiwiSaver, yeah, that's still good as long as you have contributed at least 36 months, not necessarily consecutive. You can use your KiwiSaver as part of your deposit, or could be the whole part of your deposit. Okay, can we go to the next slide, Christine?
Yes. Just gonna is that one? Yeah, that
No,
one.
that's not the one. Is that the one?
That one.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so wherever you go, be it to me, to a broker, I would fancy myself not just a broker, because brokering is just one of my function. I'm actually a financial coach, so I show my clients how to budget, how to plan, how to do like that. A broker is just mainly, like, okay, I look for your lender, and here's your lender, off you go. Okay, all right. So wherever you go, the bank, the broker, to us, there are 5 C's of credit or lending criteria. I'll just speak of the four, and the more important ones. The first one is your capacity to pay. That's why we'll ask for your pay slip, all your whatever debts you have, to determine what you can afford to pay. The biggest thing right now is affordability under capacity. Affordability simply is whatever you're gonna pay when you have that house. Say for example 5,000, and you're currently renting say 2,000. So 5,000 minus 2,000, then there's a shortfall of 3K, right? 3,000. We will need to prove where that shortfall will come from. That's arrested development, actually. That was imposed around 3 years ago, December 3 years ago. Before, there was nothing like that, but it put a lot of families in the hardship situation because suddenly they find themselves paying more than double what they're currently paying with the rent. That's a very good thing to do. So affordability is one key factor nowadays. Okay. And then there's DTI. It's mentioned here, DTI. So DTI mainly, it's like your gross annual income times six. That's what you can afford to borrow. I mean, that's the guideline right now imposed by the Reserve Bank. If it's an owner occupied, for investment property, it's times seven. Okay. So, example, a household with $100,000 income per year times six, then they can afford to borrow 600K. Okay, if they have no other obligations, because there are other short-term debts, car loan, whatever, that will be part of computing that as well. All right. The next one is capacity. So easy to remember. These are the rules of the game, the lending criteria. If you know this, guys, it will be easier for you to have your loan approved because you know the rules of the game. Okay. The second one is character. It's not talking about Mel's being a beautiful daughter, a nice neighbor, or whatever. Christine being, so kind. It's about financial character. So here in New Zealand, we know credit check, everything is in there. For us Filipinos, I noticed there are those who are not conscious as far as their bank account is concerned. Here in New Zealand, even if you have, like, say, in one bank, you have three accounts. One is for your transactional, one is for your savings, the other one is for whatever. Even if you have funds on one other account, but you overdraw with mas marami kayong kinuha kaysa perang nandoon, that could be considered as an arranged overdraft. One, two items like that, it will appear as a red OD in your bank account. Maybe one or two, it's just an oversight on your part. You were not able to transfer. In the Philippines, that doesn't happen usually because we have one form we sign. It's an automatic transfer form. The bank themselves will transfer the funds should you overdraw one account. Here, nothing like that. So be very careful with that. We have one client 2 years ago. She was made to wait for 6 months to clear it out. One or two unarranged overdraft, that's fine. But if you have six, seven a week, now that means you're not responsible with your account, right? So take care, be careful with that, guys. Now, if you cannot help it because your salary comes in after you pay the bills, might as well arrange an overdraft facility to the bank. You pay $5-10, I think, per month, and then you'll be given that facility, and that will not count against your financial character. One other thing about character is like delayed payments of our bills, that will also reflect in the credit check. Again, one or two delayed payments, that's fine. But if it's a regular thing, it's a habit, that's a very big no-no. Okay. The other one is collateral. I think amongst the four that I'm going to mention tonight, that's the easiest to meet, especially with a new build, because your collateral is also the house that you're buying. And it's easy because in the sense, before you buy that house anyway, the lender will check if it's acceptable to them or not. So if they say that's not acceptable, then even if you're approved as borrower, you'll have to find another property to buy. All right. The last one that I would like to take up is capital or contribution to the deal. Contribution includes your deposit to the vendor. Okay, don't be confused because some would say a deposit to the vendor and deposit to the bank. Those can be two different things. Okay, so we call it contribution, your contribution to the deal, the capital to put in, say 20%, 15%, whatever it is. That will also form part of the criteria that the lender will have a look at. It also mentions here credit score. Yep, credit score. If you haven't done your credit score, you can contact me. I can do some initial check for you because sometimes there are surprises there that you're not even aware of. Okay. Debt to income ratio, I've already explained that. How to get pre-approved. It's so easy. Just those four. As long as you comply with those, you're in. You're in. So get into that habit of saving, proving your affordability. I'm not saying if you have a short-term debt, you cannot be approved anymore. In fact, if you have 2, 3 credit cards, you're paying regularly, you have no stress, that's fine. But you have to prove that you are worthy to be lent that money to, and it's also good for yourself, right? So simple steps to secure mortgage approval. Just like I said, put your financial house in order, okay? And then know what are the costs that are involved because buying a house is not for everyone, okay? It should be part of your overall financial plan. But the moment you're able to, why rent? I mean, it could be one of your investment vehicles. One other thing that I've written here is, for me, a lot of people, especially those who have existing home loans, don't play the game, what we call the interest rates game. Okay, don't play that. There's more to a home loan than just the interest rate. Like in our case, we do personalized home loan structure because I believe personally, it's the most important factor in your home loan, having the correct structure based on your situation. So our company has a tool called DebtNav. So it's a good planning tool, monitoring and a reviewing tool. Because even before buying that house or buying another property, in this case, like investment property, it can give you an indication whether it's for you or not. Can you still go out and have a dinner date? Can you still go on holiday if you buy this house? So even before committing to this, you already have an idea, and it takes a lot of stress. November last year, headline on stuff: 3 out of 5 New Zealanders who's got a home loan are showing signs of stress. So I don't want you to be in that position. I want you to do actions that are based on informed decision. For me, it's not about the business. I'm 60. I have earned my keep. I'm good. I'm doing this because I want to. Okay, so I don't want to put any family in a situation where instead of being happy for having that first home, for
Oh,
having an investment
yes.
property, instead they're stressed because
Yeah,
they need.
I always encourage people, you include your travel, whether domestic, international, because yeah, you can put it in depth now, and it
Yes,
can be part of the plan.
yes, correct, because having a house doesn't mean you don't have a lifestyle anymore.
Yes.
So having that tool,
Yeah.
I call DebtNav, especially those of existing home loans, for example, having that tool can just give you that peace of mind, like, we can
This is
actually
part of
afford
my
that.
thing, yeah. And
Yeah.
you don't feel guilty that, oh, I should be
Oh
paying
no,
my
no,
mortgage. Like, this is, I have planned for this. I have planned that I'm gonna go to
I
domestic,
deserve this. Yep.
yeah, domestic travel twice a year, and the international,
That's true. That's true. So I think I will end at this stage. I would invite everyone, whether you're planning to buy your first home, invest here, or whatever it is that you want to do. Um, Give me a call, contact me. I'll be happy to talk with you. No obligation at all. Whether you move to me or not, I don't really mind. My point, Christine's and Mel's point here is we want to help you, we want to educate you, we want to share with you what we know, because in the end, tayo lang rin mga Pilipino magtutulungan. We are here to help each other, and we want you to be part of a bigger journey of making the Philippines in our own way a better place for us and for the next generation. Yep. Thank you.
You have this one.
That's one, the tips. Okay. Yeah, investment property or owner occupied. Okay, that will matter. That will matter. As I mentioned earlier, the deposit required is different. So the next one is interest only or interest and principal. That is about repayment, because investment property, if your accountant says it's beneficial to you, I'm not an accountant. I can't give you advice on that, but I'm just showing you what are the possibilities. So interest only can possibly improve your cash flow, whatever your accountant says. So there are options. Intentions can change. Some of our clients, after 3 years, oh, kuya, we would like to move to our investment property now that we are only, we are downsizing, whatever it is. So intentions can change. And then RBNZ rules and policies, this changes all the time. I mean, every now and then. So we'll have to be keep updated with this. So don't be discouraged. Like last year, you will not approve, and then maybe I will not be approved again,
yeah.
or maybe no.
It's different, like change all the time, right?
Yeah, even
If,
banks funding allocation. Much as we say, RBN set has these rules. Some banks would have some funding allocation. Like there are a portion of their lending portfolio, they are given a leeway by the Reserve Bank on how to lend it, especially their own clients. So sometimes, like, wow, they're approved. Yes, and the last one would be non-bank lenders as well. So there are other options. So we have access to all the lenders. Mm. Is that the last
Yes.
slide, Christine?
This lastly.
Yep, yep.
Philippines.
The Philippines, yes. And the last one, of course, is election time. I cannot help but not about politics, but it's about one thing I noticed. it's always the same family, the same politics. I'm not blaming the politicos out there. I have a hallucination in my reflection. I have this thing about something happened in our colonial past that has conditioned our mind, generational conditioning, and we have to go beyond that. Currently, we are still thinking about victims, like we are not even aware about it. But the moment we go beyond that, the moment we know who we really are as a people, we are caring, loving, nurturing, hospitable people, then the Philippines will soar. Definitely. Okay. Yep.
Yes.
That's part of our
And that's
advocacy
why
as
this
well.
is part of what we do here in Pinoys in NZ, guys. And I really hope that you feel, I would say when you're prospering, you will overflow. And that's what we want in our community. And tonight, hopefully, you've learned a lot, especially for those who are in South Auckland. Hopefully, you're more excited about building your house in South Auckland areas. Of course, choosing the right suburb, the right subdivision. And if you have questions, I think we have some questions. Thank you so much for that, Kuya Rex. The first step, again, as I've said, is decision. Once you make that decision, you will contact your ex. Just to say, a lot of people don't know this about mortgage brokers, financial advisors. It's free. The service is free, and you get a lot of benefits. Okay, you get a lot of options.
Christine,
So again, the first step,
sorry, I
yes.
need to qualify that. Mine is not free.
Oh, so
Yep, for
okay.
every hour of consultation and they're happy with the result, they will have to refer at least 5 friends to me. Okay.
Oh,
It
that's
comes
good, guys.
Share the
naturally.
good news. Share the good news.
It is natural.
Yes.
Especially Filipinos, just like what they mentioned earlier, Clinton and Matt, like it is natural for Filipinos to refer. If you found some good, like genuine people there and giving you good service and quality
Mhm.
service, that's what we are here in Pinoy's and NZ as well. Like we really value our recommendation. We make sure that we collaborate with the right people, with the right mindset, and yeah, giving you good service because it will be our name as well, and it will be not, we will not be in line with our mission of helping Filipinos prosper faster in New Zealand if we will put you in a bad situation and you will be scammed. So no to scamming in Pinoy Sinense. And
Okay.
yeah, we're
And
prospering.
I
Thank you for
love
that trust, Melody.
that.
Yeah.
Clinton and Matt, the one that you mentioned about your guarantee of building, you start paying clients because I think it happened one of our member really had a bad experience with builder, and their home were not finished for years and they couldn't find the builder. So it's so important to find a reputable developer builder that will help you. Otherwise, you'll be in a lot of trouble. We don't want that. So just few questions here, if that's okay, but I think we've answered that. So just to clarify again, the areas in, if you can just go through the whole few suburbs that you have projects.
Yeah.
Um,
Another question, Chris. More specific, Ame or from Ame or Rebelio. She asked, "What are the good areas in South Auckland that are currently being developed?"
yes, that's the one.
Yeah. That's a great question, actually. So we cover off a bunch of different areas in South Auckland, which are all really good areas. Clinton mentioned a couple of them tonight. So Hanua Views and Oronga are both really great areas, especially for first home buyers. They offer really good value for money in terms of getting a standalone brand new home. So it's definitely probably the most affordable options of those areas, as well as being really good areas. We do also have other options at a slightly higher price point in areas like Wider Shores, which is in Takanini. Karaka is always a very popular area. It can be pricey in some parts of Karaka. There's a subdivision called Park Green, which is very nice, which is where Christine and Melody, you visited our show home there. It's very nice, but a little bit pricey, but a lovely area for sure. So yeah, we cover off Karaka, Papakura, Takanini, all the way out to Clark's Beach, which is a really nice beachside suburb. Again, you get some really good value for money there. It's a little bit further away from the city. You kind of feel like you're on holiday. Obviously, at this time of the year, it's a bit of a dream. But yeah, that's another good option for first home buyers as well out there. And then a whole lot of areas in between. But one of the things that we love to do is we sit down with our clients one on one, and we just get to know sort of what your needs are and what you're looking for. And so what we love to do is get a really good understanding of the sort of home and the location that you're looking for, and then we can actually come back to you with some options that we think you will be really well suited to what you're looking for.
Yeah, so these are the suburbs. Yeah, yeah. Again, you can also book a call with Matt, and really just he will very personalized if you're keen. And please, again, if you haven't yet, enter your details in our link that we are sharing here. And of course, for QRX as well, if you want to book a call with QRX, please do just enter your details as well. Um, if you want one on one, because I think again, you're not buying a dress, or you're not buying a lolly, you are buying a house, so it is a process. And if you're here tonight, I'm sure you have that excitement. Hopefully we spark that desire in your heart, and again, you make that happen for yourself. And yes, there's a lot of documentation. It's just like migrating, guys. You cannot enjoy this beautiful country, New Zealand, without submitting all the requirements. And sadly, for those people, they're like, oh, I can't be bothered doing all of that, and you don't want to do that to yourself, right? So I just have a bit of what was this one from DJ Love? How many square meters is the land usually?
I think he
I think
answered earlier.
you've answered that earlier. Just
Yeah, I
wanna.
think I answered it, guys. As Matt sort of touched on, we've got a wide range of subdivisions with different size sections. Those two that we talked about, Oringa and Hanua Views, 250 to 350 square meter sections. Because of the price point, as you start going up bigger sections, the price tends to go up more. So we've got a wide range of options to suit all budgets. So as sort of Matt touched on, the best thing to do is come have a chat. And just no obligation, just have a conversation. We'll be happy to help.
And they also mentioned about school zones as well, because a lot of Filipinos have families with kids. So school zones, there are also new schools. Is that right? Like
And a
depending on
mall,
the area.
it's like a Sylvia Park type wherein there'll be new mall and possibly Costco. And that will actually more likely bring up the value of of your house. So you would want to be close to the shopping malls, isn't it? Filipinos
Maybe
love to go to the shopping mall.
yeah, we love the shopping mall. Mel, this is where you Middlemore. How far from Middlemore Hospital? How many minutes, Mels? If it's
Possibly 30
Kobe.
minutes or less, even 25. If
What's the closest in
Mini
Middlemore?
probably is 18 minutes, 20 minutes.
It depends on who's driving.
If you're speeding. Because it's
Yeah.
Middlemore Hospital, you will have the access to the train station. It's really in front of
Oh wow.
yeah.
Yep.
the
I
hospital.
just
Yeah,
I just did a
exactly.
I just did a Google from Rama Rama, which is our Hunua Views. It's no traffic, 24 minutes.
24
24
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
So
And guys, if you can't afford somewhere central, you go out. That's what I've learned from the Europeans, my Kiwi workmates. I used to carpool. I'm the only Filipino before. I used to carpool with the doctors, like now the NPs, practitioners, and thing they would want to work to live, not live to work. So because they spend more time at home, they would want to feel at home, like they don't want to be in a cramped area or something like that, and
Mm.
they want to feel like the value of the value of their money can go a long way if you go further actually, and then they enjoy the lifestyle. In
Yeah.
Pukekoi, we've got great cafes and restaurants. Yeah,
Yes.
so it's
Yeah,
not
I
all.
really love it. You see the development if I visit you, Mels. I'm like, wow, this is really beautiful. Yeah, QueerX, I think this question is for you. I'm self-employed and renting, but I have some rental apartments with no mortgage. I don't live in any of the properties, only the tenants. Would I still be considered a first home loan or first home build if I borrow from the bank?
Hi, Lulu. That's a very interesting question because when you are in that position, I don't think you will need to be considered a first home loan. You don't need to be in that. Like you can probably. But I'm happy to talk to you and explore your options. I don't know why you want to be considered as a first home loan borrower, because you
If
may
you have
not
lots
need
of
it.
equity.
Mm.
That's no more.
Yeah. It
Yeah. So
to like in a way, it really depends case to case. It depends on what your situation is. If it's similar to a first home buyer, then could be.
Just an information as well. So you could buy a house without your Kiwi Saver because we did. Ha- Um, I know lots of people who did buy because they were approved. And it's not really sayang if you didn't use your Kiwi Saver because it's going to your retirement and it's being invested.
Ah, Mills.
But the second chance approval,
Yeah.
I was able to use it after I sold the property. I was considered a first home buyer again, so
Yes.
I had a
Yes.
second chance approval,
That's correct.
like using my thing. So it was already a big amount of money by that time.
Mel's one thing I failed to mention was, for those who already have an existing property and wanting to invest whatever you want to invest in, I can help you, compute how much you can
Equity,
borrow using the
yeah.
equity of your equity.
Yes,
Basically, is the value of your property minus the loan that you have. That's the equity. But there are some rules in terms of percentages, how much you can use
yeah.
it.
How much you
So
can
I,
borrow?
I'm happy it's free. So I'm happy. Contact me so you will know how much you can borrow, and then you can do whatever you want.
and then maybe you can upgrade. So get your old home rented and upgrade to a new property.
Overall
So
plan.
if
Overall
that's your
plan.
goal, is that
Mm.
so? Yeah, one-on-one consultation with QRX. Please book a consultation and just add your details there so I can contact you as well. So I guess you're over time now, and I can see I
As
really want to
always,
thank Clinton and Matt. It's their first time with us in Pinoy's and NZ. And yes, this is how we do it here. Hopefully, those who are watching live right now, yeah, take some action. The first
and
thing, if
share
you
it to
don't have
your friends.
people, yes.
Do you
So
know
yeah,
once you share actually an information to your friend, they find out that, oh, he's interested in that. You will get more information about it
Mm.
because your friend will
Mm.
have a research, will learn something new that will be beneficial to you, and he will share it to you, and then you both be sharing information, going to the same open homes. I've got lots of workmates who one was just looking at the property, and then one joined, and then they bought the same, both beside each other. So it's possible. You just need to get inspired and know that it is possible for you as well.
yes, and we want to keep that conversation here in Pinoy's in NZ. That's what we want, you guys. If you have no friends talking about it, then it's us. Who's gonna talk about
Our
it to spark
friends,
that desire. And Lulu said, I'll book a consultation and I'll make time for it. Yeah, I haven't used my Kiwi Saver yet.
yay.
Yeah. And say hi, Clinton and Matt. I would love DJ Garner to attend our first day. Okay, Liesel is now promoting. Yes, there will be more connections here. That's what we love our Pinoys in NZ community. We're our network connecting people and recommending each other, helping each other, because we really believe that we don't need to compete. We have to collaborate because this world is an abundant world. So no need to
Very
compete,
abundant.
help each other instead. So again, thank you so much for being here tonight, guys, and thank you, Kuya Rex, Clinton, Matt. And for those who are watching this
You guys.
recorded, it's all good. You can still again Sunday if you are watching this. Hopefully, you don't watch this after Sunday. We will be sharing this to our list. And for those who are watching this, of course, we will have more events like this in Auckland. As you know, our goal this 2025 is to have more kababayans own their first home, and hopefully, for those who already have existing home, start your investment properties because yeah, it's if you have equity, of course. So, to ask those questions, you can contact Kuya Rex. How much equity do you have?
Yeah,
How much you can use? And yeah, maybe you are can afford to. um, by
Because
your
using that equity may help you buy that investment property without any cash out. Yep.
yes, yes,
And please,
yes,
RSVP, like we would love to know how many people we will be preparing. Like
Yep.
Matt and Clinton will be preparing some lechon this Sunday. So
No pressure, guys.
no
No
pressure. I
pressure,
know where
guys.
to get the good lechon. Maybe later on, once we get more people, like if we have to have 100 qualified people to show the show homes, so we will think of lechon, maybe a Christmas party or something like that. So
yes, yes. So thank you all, awesome and
Thank you.
informative. So thank you, everybody. Have a great
Thank you,
night.
everyone. Thanks,
there's
Stay
guys.
safe
Thanks,
video
and
everyone.
and
wash
Thanks
your
for joining
RSVP.
hands.
us.
See
Bye
you
on
next
Good to hear.
Sunday.
time,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye bye.